Hey, what's up, Kurt?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, hear you loud and clear.
Okay, can I share my screen with you real quick? I just want to ask you a quick question.
Yeah, sure. Let me promote you over real quick. All right, make you a co-host, and then you should have the option now. So if you have that, the same option we went over last time, you can pull it up on that toolbar.
Yep. Oh, I'm coming right now.
Got it. All right, cool.
Can you see my screen?
Yep, looks like you're good.
If I X this box.
Yeah, you can close it out since you have the app open already.
All right. When I get this, right, how
Yeah.
do I like not lose the indicators and everything?
Okay, so the reason why you're getting that is because you probably opened it on your phone. Is that what happened?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So if you want to just leave it how it already is on your screen without having it edited, just click continue. Because if you reload it, then that's where it'll change it. There, you should be good there. So I think that's how it's supposed to look, right?
Okay. Oh, something I wanted to ask you.
Hmm.
All right. You see how we're on the 1 hour, right?
Yeah,
How would I chart this properly? Where's this
oh,
proper support and resistance?
gotcha. So generally uh I would draw the zones on the 4 hour. Say if you're trading on the 1 hour, because the problem with the 1 hour is that the zones are just too they're too close to each other. So click auto on the bottom. That'll help uh spread them out a little farther. There you go. So from this point, let's see. Depending on how far the zones are, so you can use the measuring tool. Do you see the measuring tool on the left hand side next to the smiley face? So basically, I would measure the zones from one zone to the other. If they're less than about 20 pips away from each other, then I would just connect the zones. So that's like my threshold. So you
Oh,
can see, yeah, if you look from the top, you can like measure that middle zone, like that big area from that red one up to the other red one. You can measure
so
that.
right here.
Yeah, you can measure that to the upper one, and then you can see how far from the one below it, I believe, down right there, you can see that's like 76 pips, right? So from that point, you can separate those two zones from each other. So measure from the one below it. Let's see how far that one is from it. Yeah, so like for that one right there, it's like way too close, right? It's only like about 15, 12 to 15 pips. So for that right there, I would connect those two zones since you're not really going to take trades in between there, right? Look at your spread. Your spread's like 7.5. So if you were to take a trade from that, from like this specific trade in between that little zone, you have to pay the spread 10.5 to get in, and then you have to pay the spread 10.5 to get out. So if that was the case, you'd have to pay, a total of 15 pips to get in and out of the trade. You're not going to have enough cushion before getting out. So if you look at that green candle right down the left-hand side, if you were like to take, any of those trades, you can see how price rejects right off the zone, right? If you were to take any of those trades, you probably would get caught on the wrong side of the trade because you wouldn't have enough cushion in between each zone. So that's why I want at least like a 20 to 25 pip gap in between each zone. And if there's no gap in between there, then I'll just connect those zones together into like one big zone so that I don't trade within those little rejection areas.
Oh, so let me ask you something, right?
Hmm?
You how do I get rid of this tool? Okay, so right here, right?
Yeah.
If you were gonna chart this up, like how would you essentially do this? I'm sorry, I'm kind of new to this.
Oh, no, you're fine. So I
You
would,
see,
yeah,
for me, this looks like one zone, from here to there. You get me?
yeah, definitely.
That looks like if this broke out here, I would go. That would be considered a breakout in structure in my book. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
yeah,
correct?
yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. So here, this is what I would do. Measure the middle zone. See where that red and green one is right in the middle. Just measure from that lower green one to the red one. I just want to see how far is it from there.
So from the lower green one
Like above it, it's right below that red one, right
right
below
here.
the red zone, a little higher. Not the candles, the actual zone, like the horizontal zone that go left to right, right there. So like from that one to that lower one, see how far is it from there? Oh, not all the way down there. Just the other zone that's right below it. There you go. So, or measure it from the top all the way down to the like where that red zone is. Measure it from the red to the green, so that we can see how much distance is from each zone. Not all the way down, just that green one that's right next. Not that one. The one that's right below the red one. The one above it. Two more above it. One more above it. Down right there. Okay, so it's about like 20 pips. So technically, you could separate those two zones. Like you can separate that red zone from the top, from that green zone to the bottom. You can do that, or you can just connect it as one big zone if you want. It's just really up to preference. But there's no specific way. The reason for all these zones in the chart is because price is just ranging. You know, generally, if price is not trending up or down, you're going to find a lot of zones within one area because price just keeps testing the same area. So you can either draw one big zone for the entire area right there, or you can draw one zone above and then one zone below, separated by that little gap in between.
So let me ask you something. If the way I would zone this up is like this, let me know if this is correct. Oh, the way I would do this is this is the resistance, right? And then this is the major support in this trend right here. Would that and all of this, I mean, am I correct from here to there? Is that a proper support and resistance?
So the thing is, if you go on the higher time frame, say if you try to draw the zones on the daily, that zone would probably match up with one that you just drew. So that's why I usually go on the higher time frames if I'm going to be, trading on the lower ones. But like I mentioned before, there's a lot of zones right there in the middle, right? So you can see all the rejection points. There's no guarantee it's always going to come down and up that smooth, right? Because there's so many rejection points where it can easily swing up. So just because you've drawn that upper and lower zone doesn't mean that price is always going to do that, because there's a lot of multiple zones within it. So
let me ask you something, right? This is a zone. This is a zone. This is a zone. Like, how would I know? Like, is this the next support and resistance? Or is it this the next support and resistance? Or are they all?
They all are, because all those areas have been tested like 2 or 3 times in the past at the same exact price point. So this is how you can tell that banks are trading this area, because banks usually trade at a specific price, right? When they get to a specific price, they have their algorithms trade either buy or sell. So if the same exact price point is getting rejected at, 2 or 3 times, numerous times within a week or so, that's when these zones get created.
So let me ask you something, right? So let's say I was going in for a trade, right? I see that this trend meter, momentum indicator is respected on this currency, right? Because here it went into a downtrend, right?
Yep.
Here we have a really strong support, because look at all this bearish pressure, and then it started going bullish once it hit here. Then you have your momentum meter bullish. So I can tell on this currency pair, USD CAD, these momentum indicators are very well accurate, right? So here's what I would do next. Correct me if I'm wrong. What I would do next, right, is I'm realizing that this is the major support and this is the major resistance, because look at this bullish pressure, look at this bearish pressure. So this is a huge resistance. Same thing over here, a lot of bearish pressure, huge support, right? What I would do next, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm trying to learn this. I would go to the 1 hour, right? And now I see where I'm at. So here we have a momentum indicator saying the trend is bullish, right? What I would do next is wait for it to break out here or break out there. I would not do anything in between, just for security purposes, to protect my capital. Do you feel like, let's say we got a bullish indicator, a bullish momentum candle closed here, right? Breakout in structure here over this major support line. That's where I would enter my buy. Do you think that's a wise move?
Definitely, 100%. So go back to the 4 hour and I'll explain So what I was explaining to you earlier lines up exactly with what you were saying. So remember earlier when I said you can create this into one big zone, you can just, it's the same exact thing that you just did in here. So if you create, so delete those two zones and then just create one big zone.
How do I delete it?
Just click on it and hit delete or remove. Yeah, that works too. And then just drag that one down all the way to the bottom. So it's the same exact thing that I just mentioned earlier that you're mentioning now. So you just, instead of creating two separate zones, you just created one big zone. So if price breaks below it or breaks above it, it's the same thing that you just explained right now as well, right?
Okay, I got what you're saying. So let me ask you something, right?
Mhm.
Do you feel like the breakout in structure on the 4 hour is more powerful than the breakout in structure on the 1 hour?
Definitely.
So for example, right? So the reason why I'm asking these questions is because I took 21 trades last night with your strategy and I hit 20 of them. I showed you the results.
Yeah, definitely. It was on point.
So yeah. And I just started 3 days ago. So anybody watching this live, this is legit and you need to get involved with K2 because you know, yeah, this is hands down the best price. I started 3 days ago. I took 21 trades. I closed 20 of them in TPs. So let me ask you something, right? So the way I would do this, right? See on the 1 hour here, it's still within the zone.
Exactly.
Even if a bullish momentum indicator came up and closed on this candle, right? You're basically saying it's still a safer choice to wait it out and go on the 4 hour and wait for like a bullish candle to break out over here because the 4 hour overrides the 1 hour.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, the higher time frames you trade on, the more accurate your moves will be because on the lower time frames, you're going to find a lot of noise. You'll see areas where price will get to an area and it'll just fake out before it continues to where it's supposed to go, right? Like you'll see, for example, let me see if I can find something. Like for example, in the middle of this whole chart, you can see that there's a lot of times where price goes back and forth, right? Like you'll see it come down and it'll retrace up a little bit, then it'll come back down, and then it'll retrace a little bit, and then it'll keep coming back. If you go on the higher time frame, like the daily or the weekly, you'll see how much more accurate those are. So like just let's go on the daily just to see how everything moves through that time frame. And you can see right here that it's a lot more clear, right? Because it's catching the entire moves instead of those little candles that are going back and forth in between each little zone that you've drawn there. You kind of get what I'm saying there?
So so okay, so if this so this is strong as hell, in other words, since it's 1 day.
Yeah, super
So
strong.
this trade here, this would have been great.
When it broke
Right?
it, right? Yeah, it went all the way up.
Because this is powerful, right?
Yeah,
This is a 24-hour candle. So this would have been a really good buy, right?
exactly.
So let me ask you something. Does it pay to actually not, if you have patience, right? Like I'm a patience kind of a trader, right? Is it smarter to trade on the daily?
Oh, 100%. If you have patience, like if you have real patience, a lot of people say they have patience, but they don't really have patience. They think they have patience, but they don't when they get into trading. But if you have patience to trade on the daily, you can make so much more money trading on the daily. It's just, you're not going to be taking as many trades. Obviously, for me, for K2, a lot of people want intraday trades. So I have to go on the shorter time frames, like the 4 hour or the daily, even before I used to trade on the 30-minute. But if I was to trade, if I was trading and not really giving any signals or doing any of that, where I needed to give people trades, I would just trade on the daily, honestly. Because if you,
See,
yeah,
one of the things that I did do last night, right? I did this on a 4 hour structure. I'm going to start doing it on the daily. But like, see this here? To me, this is a really valid sell signal because look, it's clearly rejecting off of this major resistance, right?
exactly.
Well, you see the bearish pressure coming in here, right?
hmm
Candle closes and then boom,
Exactly. You could have
goes
traded
into,
within the zone, right? Like, because it crossed into that zone. Kind of similar to if you go to the left over there, you see how that red candle broke into the zone. You could have rolled that down there too.
so you could have did like an entry from here to there, right?
Exactly. Yeah, if you want to do that, you just would have to. say if you wanted that full move right there, you'd have to hold it for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 days, but you'd get full TP, which is probably a lot of pips, right?
Yeah, that would be a lot.
Yeah.
So basically, okay, so I see how this works. So your daily. So here's what I'm going to do, right? The daily, if that's going in the right direction, then the 4 hours going in the right direction, then the 1 hour is going in the right direction, and you enter that valid buy signal, that's almost guaranteed TP.
Yep, almost. Yeah, definitely. I think your odds of hitting are a lot, like way better if you're on the daily than on the lower time frames, because you get less noise, right? You get the actual full movements. You're not just getting a bunch of red candles and then you get one green candle that pops out of nowhere, and then you're just guessing at that point. But on the daily, you have like such strong candles because they go for 24 hours. Like when price is pushing that direction for that long, it gives you, that confirmation that, price is probably going to keep going in that direction, like when it breaks structure. And you can tell just by looking at the chart. You can see whenever price breaks structure, it usually continues pushing that direction for, X amount of time.
Okay. So I pretty much, this is brilliant, bro. I just want to tell you, this strategy is very accurate.
Yeah, it's
It
super
really
accurate.
is.
Yeah, this is the only one I use, literally the only one I use for Forex.
Yeah, I took 21 trades and I nailed 20 of them, and I did like pretty good profits. They were all from 25 to 45 pips, but I
Yeah.
made sure I did like really good valid signal. I didn't just take the trade to take it.
Yeah.
Learning, like I'm trying to look at the power of like the daily and the 4 hour.
Mm-hmm.
These are like the big confirmations: daily strong confirmation, 4 hour strong confirmation, and then the 1 hour it's like a good entry, kind of, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to ask you just like one last. Well, first of all, bro, I appreciate your support like a lot. Like I've learned so much from you in 3 days. Like it's unbelievable. It's actually kind of strange because I've been in like 4 or 5 different Forex academies, and I'm not going to mention the names because I don't want to tarnish their reputations. Brother, what I learned from you in 3 days is like magnificent. So anybody watching this live, you need to get in this program. Like this is the answer you've been looking for.
Yeah, you did some crazy work. When I saw your profits, I was like, wow, you did this on your own?
Yeah. Can I show them the results so they could see it?
Yeah, you can show them on your screen right now. I think you have your screen share, so you can go ahead and do that if you want. Because yeah, when you showed me your profits, I was like, wow, like you literally had nonstop wins with straight wins. Like, straight wins is literally. So you took Euro odd, Euro NZD, GA. You had, wow, you made a lot of money off of CAD last night, huh?
Yeah, I did. I took probably about 21, I think, or 22. And I've used like so many signal providers, and they're all garbage.
And
It's
yeah,
amazing.
the funny thing is,
I've used 25 signal providers in the last 3 or 4 months, and they all suck. And then I used your strategy, and I've nailed like this is the answer. Like anybody watching this live, if you're looking for the answer and you're trying to learn how to trade, like this is it. Let me see if I can show them another result.
yeah, the thing is that you took these on your own. These weren't even signals that I called. You literally took all these on your own and then showed me the profits after. I was like, wow, it's amazing.
I grew my account
Wow.
30% in one day. So this is in the beginning when I first started taking the trades. As you can see, I have a million signal providers, right? I got a million. These all suck. I joined your program 3 days ago, and I'm killing it. So let me show you guys something. So all blue. They stayed all blue. They stayed all blue. So look at that. I went from 14 to 32 to 47 to fucking profit. And I know my account's small, but it's the principle that the strategies are working. I missed these two here, but who cares? Because I closed on the rest of these.
All. Yeah, exactly.
And then
it's all about, it's a numbers game.
Yeah, and I also have another account. and I did really good on that one. I don't think I sent you the evidence on that one, but I did really good on that. So anybody watching this, I'm telling you guys, you
Nice.
see,
You're
I've
killing it, dude.
clearly,
Like you're
yeah,
literally just here for a couple of days and there you go. You're
yeah,
off to the races.
yeah, and I've used, like I said, I used 25 signal providers, and they all have been garbage. I've been taking signal providers garbage, signal providers garbage. It's so bad that I said, you know what, I got to learn how to trade myself so I can make money. And then I joined your program like 3 or 4 days ago, and I literally am killing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I would have used higher lot size last night,
Oh, dude,
I'd,
you would
I'd
have
have,
added a
oh,
zero to
forget.
that.
Yeah. So I have 3 accounts, right? All 3 of them, I grew them 30% overnight just by using the same kind of strategy that you taught me. You know what I mean? Now I wanted to ask you about the US 30. This will be my last question for you. Also, while we have people on live, just so you guys know, it's it's just better to learn how to trade. It really
Exactly.
is.
And that's
Because
my
you know
goal
what?
too.
Signal providers, a lot of them, like I said, I'll be honest, I've used 25. I just showed you guys my Telegram. You'd see nothing but signal providers. They just don't work. If they worked, I wouldn't be learning how to trade, right? So, um, this stuff is absolutely legit. Now with the US 30, right? I'm a little soft on this strategy. I got to learn this. So basically, you go down to the 10-minute.
Yeah, let's go down to the 10-minute, and then you can turn off the K2SR since they're not really necessary. I mean, they can be as an extra confirmation, but they're not necessarily required.
Oh,
So you can probably take that off your chart so it doesn't make the candles all small. There you go, and then you can see from there.
how do I
Uh,
get to the 10-minute?
it should be right above. I think you have it there. It's the last one on the list. So scroll up to the top where you have your time frames right next to the weekly.
Oh,
There you go. And then you could probably just hit auto and it'll probably recalibrate the chart for you. There you go.
so how? So I want to master this too because clearly, whatever your strategies are working. I'm actually going to try to make 10 grand next week
Nice.
using your strategies. I'm not even kidding. I started that account with $230, and all
Make it
three of them
happen.
are at $100 profit overnight. So I'm going to try to make 10K using your strategies. So everybody pay attention to this live. We're going to see what I can do. Um, so how do you do your US 30?
So turn on the momentum indicator. That's the only one that you really need. It would
That's
be
this one.
the one below it, K2CS. There you go. So for this strategy right here, I probably wouldn't use this week an example because this week it was just a crazy week with all the news. So I'd probably go back to like maybe the previous week or maybe in the beginning of the year because that'd probably be a better sample for you to look at. So maybe just go back to like January 4th, and then that'll probably give you a better sample, like when there wasn't so much news going on in the world. It's like these past couple of weeks have just been crazy, with the impeachment, with the new COVID news, and then with Biden introducing his new stimulus plan. It just made the whole market go pretty haywire.
Sorry, I'm so new to this. You said January 4th.
Yeah, you can start from January 4th, and then you can just go back to the 10-minute from there. Yeah, I think every time you change a time frame, it's gonna reset. So maybe just go back to the 10-minute, and then you can just scroll over with it on automatic. There you go. And then you scroll over to the end, and then you'll probably find it. Yeah, and then you just keep going over, and then you should be able to get back to the beginning of the year from there. Because I think the 4th was the beginning of the year, right? Let me check the calendar. Pretty sure it was. Yeah, so the 4th was Monday, so you should be going that day.
Is there a quicker way to get over there? Should I go on like
No, because if you're gonna be on the 10-minute, it's gonna require that you stay on that time frame. Because when you switch time frames, it's gonna zoom out to a different time. Oh, there you go. You have a marked up already.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so with this strategy, the first requirement is you look for trades after the market open, which should be right there at 9:30 your time, right?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So yeah, the 9:30 would be your time, 6:30 my time because I'm on the West Coast. So from that point, you'll start looking for the first valid K2 signal after that time. So you can see from right there, that's 9:30, and then you'll just go over to the right, and then you'll look for the first valid signal for you to take the first entry.
So right here is
Mhm.
is the market open.
Yeah, and like just for reference, you can see right there that candle on market open. You can see it's a huge candle, right? You got to keep in mind that the first candle is generally going to be a manipulated candle because it has all of the pre-market orders that set in. So yeah, after 9:30, you're going to look for the first valid signal, which would be that one right there, because it's a green buy signal with a green bullish candle within it. So that confirm as a valid buy signal right there.
So you enter right there.
Yeah. So right when that candle closes, I'd enter like a market buy order, and I'll be in the trade, and then I'll take that win right there. So you can go ahead and set the long tool, so you can see how far the movement is from it'd be down right there, right below the one right there. There you go. And then you can place it right on that close. And then generally we put our stop loss at 1500. So you just put 150 for each side. Since these are futures, you just add an extra zero to the end, and then it would become 1500. So you just put 150 on each TP and stop loss. So yeah, there you go. Then click on inputs, and then you can put 150 for profit and then 150 for stop.
Is that am I putting it under price?
Yeah, on ticks.
So ticks is 150.
Yeah. So that'd be equal to 1500 pips.
And then just hit OK.
Yep. And there you go. You can see that it went straight from that entry all the way to full TP with like little to no drawdown.
Bro, you didn't even go into any drawdown.
Exactly.
Bro, that's so insane. Because I've been in so many damn academies about tackling US 30. And look at this shit, man. This is like so easy too.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, like,
it's
yeah,
almost
like,
kind of funny, right? Like,
yeah.
imagine.
When I first figured it out, I thought it was funny too. I didn't realize, I was like, is this legit or am I just seeing things? And then after applying it for like an entire year, because we took these trades all last year, like every day. And after hitting so many, full profits, I was like, wow, this actually works. So like now this is one of our main strategies that we now apply pretty much every single day.
Yo, that's insane, bro. That's like it's almost so easy a 5-year-old could do it.
Literally, you just literally wait
Like,
for
bro, I don't even know how to use like these indicators. I'm like, what's 150 ticks? And look at that. That's incredible. Dude, you really have the greatest Forex Academy. I even been to a 5-day in-person course. Imagine that, 5 days in person. And what I learned with you in 3 days has been like magnificent, dude.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I like to make things like, as simple as possible. Because in reality, trading is, I mean, it is a little complicated if you want to go into complexities of things. But if you just want to win, you just have to know how to win, right? You don't have to go and learn everything about trading. Like everything isn't required. It's necessarily just, know what you need to know to win and rinse and repeat pretty much. That's all it really is.
Yeah. So my man, that's pretty much all of the questions that I had, man. I was just trying to figure out that support and resistance. I just want to make sure what I was doing was correct because it's working. I want to see if there's anything I can do better. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use your same strategy on the daily.
It's funny because now that you mentioned that, it makes me want to do it as well. So I'm probably going to do some testing on that and
Like, think
see.
about it, right? Like
'Cause
we
it's
were on
really
USD, we were on USD CAD, right?
and it's a slow moving pair, so it makes it a lot easier where it's not you don't see too many crazy movements. But on the daily, it was very, very accurate.
So like, here's the daily here, right? This is where we are in time, right?
Yeah,
So we had this thing on, we had that thing on and that thing on, right?
there we go.
The 4 hour.
You can even like if you're trading on the weekly, I mean on the daily, you can even draw your zones on the weekly if you want to. if you want to get like even stronger zones, because obviously, the weekly zones are going to be even stronger if you're
We,
trading on that daily time frame.
we were looking at this pair, right? It was USD CAD.
Yep, that's right.
So like here's my thoughts to you, right? Stay with me because this is how I'm gonna share my next plan. So see right here. So from here to there, right, is clearly strong support, strong resistance, right?
Exactly.
So we mark this up there. Not even go with this thing. Mark that up there.
And the cool thing with these zones is that you can do like exactly what you're doing here, right? You don't have to use every single zone. Like if you can identify where the strong support and the strong resistance is, you can literally just draw those on the chart.
Right. So see here, I want to, for everybody on the live, just hear me out. And you too, check this out. So in here, right, this is all risky, right? A lot of going up and down, up and down, up and
Yeah,
down.
you get caught in a lot of fake outs that way.
Exactly, right? So we go over to the daily. Once this breaks out and we get a confirmation candle, that's it. That's
Exactly.
really it. You can hold that for 2 or 3 days and just capture more pips. And it's less work.
Exactly. Kind of similar to that red candle right there. When that red candle breaks below it, you can probably even turn on the momentum indicator to see, what direction momentum is going from that point.
Is that it here?
Yeah, it should be on. You should probably like zoom out from there, and it'll probably come up. Maybe the
This one?
yeah, you can probably hit that right there. Oh yeah, there you go. So you see where that upper zone is right there, where that red candle closed below it. You can actually take that cell over there. See, if you move over to the left, see where that red candle closed below that previous zone, below the support.
Right here?
So if you go over about like 20 candles, a little more over, like a 4 more over, 2 more over. So you see where that red candle broke that structure right there, right to the right of that one, that small candle. Let's take an upside down hammer, right to the right of that one right there. So yeah, right there, that one, perfect. So you see how that one broke that structure? You literally could have rolled that down to the lower structure right there, and pull up the measuring tool. Let's see how many pips you could have caught from that trade right there. Should be the
This is the major resistance, right? Right there.
exactly, yeah, because you can see where that nice wick hit it.
Okay. There. From here all the way down there. That's
Exactly.
where I would have entered. So you got the confirmation there. And that's
Yeah,
a strong ass confirmation because it's on a daily.
on a daily. Yeah, it's a strong bearish candle, just full bearish candle.
So this is the tool.
You can use that. Use the just click that little that one right there, and then it'll drop down to the short tool. There you go.
So from here we would have entered.
Exactly.
Now I would have rolled this thing all the way down to
Even the lower zone right there. If you really wanted to hold that long, you could have. And it's
I would have put it. Actually, I would have probably put it right there, right at the bottom, somewhere. This is a lot of this area right here. I would have put it. I don't want to miss it, so I would have put it right around this general area here. So how many pips is that?
that's like close to 200 pips. There's 193 pips right there.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's big.
Yeah, you could pretty much just let it run and just let it play out, long term, and see how it plays out. And then you can also take other positions as well. Like you don't necessarily have to just trade, USD CAD. You can take that and then look for other positions on other pairs as well, and pretty much do the same thing.
Now let me ask you something. You see right here, it's still, it basically tested this major support, right?
Yeah.
Even though there's no bullish momentum indicator confirmation, would you still take this trade all the way up here?
I wouldn't until I have that confirmation, because the thing is, it can just be a small retracement. And what can happen from there is it can come back down for another test. And on that next test, it could possibly break below it and then provide for a sell entry at that point. So you can see right there that it's tested it 1, 2, maybe 3 times already. Yeah, or maybe even 4 times. You can see tested it quite a bit of times. And it might go for like a last test again as it comes back down, because you can see it rejected off that upper zone right there. Since it rejected off that candle, once the market reopens, if if there's any sort of news that indicates that the US dollar is going to be weak, it could easily reject off that point and then come right back down. So it looks like there was a bullish signal right there. You actually could have taken that trade to the next zone right there. You can see where that bullish signal broke the zone. You probably could have rode it up slightly.
So here's what I would have did, right? Let's say these 3 candles never existed, right? Imagine these 3 disappeared. I'd have had my eye on this daily. I'm gonna start looking at the daily over everything, right? So, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I want to make sure we're on the same page with this. So you see that we got a daily bullish candle, which is powerful, major support, powerful, right? So right now, I'll be looking for a buy. So I go down to the 4-hour. As soon as I saw this, I would have took this buy right here, and I would have took it all the way to this point. Hold on, how do I get this tool? Long, right? What I would have did is as soon as this thing went bullish, right here, I would have entered long all the way to this area here, right? Let me see. Is that going to stay there if I go back to the daily? That's perfect.
Yeah. Well, it looks like there's a zone right below it though. You see where that zone is right below it? That red line? I think that's the zone right there. So it might be a little risky to take a trade that high since there's
Right here.
You can probably write it to there if you really wanted to. Yeah.
And that right there is good for 75 pips. That's 75 pips.
Yeah. The only risky part about that is that it's already tested. You see that red candle before it? Well, I mean, it didn't go all the way, but it got pretty close to it. So the problem with it testing it once is that it adds some risk to a trade because that might be, considered a rejection. But something must have happened right there because you see that huge wick. That's not a normal wick. I think that was when Biden released his stimulus plan, and that's why price just kind of went crazy for a second there. But it's probably going to continue pushing up possibly. But who knows? It might come down because with them starting to print the money for the new stimulus, it's going to weaken the U.S. dollar. So it might actually come down from that point come next week.
Wow, bro, this is brilliant. Shawn, your program is amazing. I'm
Glad
serious.
to hear, man. I'm glad to see your profits because like you literally took those profits without none of my help. You just came with the profits, and I was like, wow, you like really locked it in after like one day of us talking.
Yo, but and dude, it's your strategies, bro. That ass. I mean, what else do I know? You know what I mean? I I just I just watch the charts though. Like, see, I'll be watching this for a sell. See what I mean? I'll be waiting for this. I'll be waiting for this daily. This would be my next move, right?
Yeah, and this would probably be easy for you too, since like if you don't want to be on the charts all day, this is probably the best thing because you can just check same time every day. Like I think what is it 5 p.m. your time when the candle closes. So it actually would work out perfect for you if you just want to check your charts once a day and then just enter your trades and check on them daily, pretty much.
Yo, you're the man, bro. You answered all my questions. I appreciate your great program, dude. This is definitely like life changing. Like, I'm not even kidding. If you saw like how this thing is just amazing. I don't even know how to put it into words. Well, I've learned so much bullshit in the last 3 months. It's amazing. And your strategies are so simple, you know?
Yeah, that's what I try to do. I try to keep it simple and make sure that it works. Those are the main things that we look for here.
Yeah. And bro, I appreciate you like so much, man. Like, you're really, really, really a great mentor. And I appreciate you always answering my questions. And I'm gonna show you my results next week. I grew all 3 of my accounts 30% in 3 days. So we're gonna
I'm excited to see your account grow for the whole year. This is just January, so just imagine 12 months from now, you just continuing to apply the same strategy over and over again. Your account can only go up from there. You've got a lot of time.
Mhm. All right, bro. I'll talk to you soon. I hit the stop share button.
Yes, you can just hit that and then we can log off from here.
Yo, thanks a lot, bro.
Definitely no problem. So yeah, I'll probably see you. I think our next session is next Tuesday, right?
Be there. I'll definitely be there Tuesday at 2 p.m. Um, Pacific time.
Perfect. Sounds good. So till then, have a great weekend.
Thanks, bro. Take care.
All right, Kurt.